Hello beautiful people and welcome to the channel. Reverend Debbie here, hope you're all doing well. Today's video, I'm asking the question, why didn't you leave? Now you may well be asked this by a family member or a friend once they discover that the relationship that you were having was abusive in some way. Because they perhaps don't understand the abusive relationship and the narcissistic relationship, the trauma that goes with it. And that's completely understandable for that person. But for you, when you are first asked that question, it can be a terrible blow. It can raise all sorts of emotions within you that you want to run away from, that you want to hide from, because you realise that this person perhaps doesn't believe you. Before we get into the body of the video, if you enjoy it, please click the like button. Please subscribe to the channel, share with your friends and family. I really need to increase the viewership on the channel and the subscribers, so I would really appreciate it if you could get your friends to subscribe to the channel. So, you've left your narcissistic ex, they've left you, you've broken up, whatever's happened, and you are the victim. You are upset, understandably, you are still going through a lot of trauma. You will be all over the place emotionally. That's perfectly normal. Don't fight that emotion. Experience that emotion. Perhaps start journaling and writing things down. Look for channels such as this, or even perhaps try and see a therapist or get onto some sort of group or support group where you can discuss this and learn to understand what you've been through. But when a friend or a family member asks this question, it can be devastating. I was asked this and it really did hurt because I felt that I wasn't being believed, that this person was like, well, if you were being abused so much, why did you stay? Why didn't you leave earlier? And that's probably because they haven't been through the same sort of trauma that you have. And to explain to them, this is why you didn't leave, may be incredibly difficult for them to understand and for you to explain. Now, when it happened to me, I was incredibly upset and I did actually run away. I put up boundaries and I wanted to hide, and I did. Because people couldn't understand why I had stayed for so long. And it was a 12-year relationship, 10 years of marriage. And the main reason is the trauma bond that is created between you and the narcissist. They create that trauma bond, you don't. But you are part of it because of the emotions that they elicit and emote in you. So, at the beginning of the relationship, they love bomb you. And this is the part of the relationship that you will remember the most during your time together and during this healing process. You may well remember what it was like when you first got together, the love that you shared, the happy moments, he placed you or they placed you up on a pedestal and they put you there and they worshipped you. But then they began to degrade you. They began to push you away. They began to belittle you, diminish you. And this is part of their plan. But the person that's asking you this question doesn't know that, doesn't understand that. You have been knocked down so many times by this person, and then they've apologized to you and you've taken them back, and the same thing has happened all over again. Now, the narcissist may not abuse you straight away, and in some instances, it could take a while for that abuse to become apparent. But for the person asking you, why didn't you leave? How do you tell them? How do you explain it to them? The simple answer why you couldn't leave is because you were stuck. You loved them. You were scared. Perhaps you had no money, no job, no place to live. And I remember at one stage, and I did actually put it up on my social media, does anybody have somewhere that I can set up camp? And I had planned to take my tents and my cats and the things that I would need to survive because I knew I needed to get away. But then things happened. A family member became very ill, and I had to now split my life in two and help the family member who was ill and who was going through palliative care. And I can tell you now, I wouldn't change that for anything in the world. I know I did the right thing there. But during that time was when my narcissistic ex decided to leave and started making his plans. And the narcissist will always choose the most difficult time in your life to leave you, because it gives them the greatest amount of supply to see you upset, to see you bereft, to see you broken down, laying on the floor crying. That is what the narcissist wants. It's the ultimate supply for them. But explaining this to them perhaps is incredibly difficult, and you may want to show them this video so that they can perhaps understand a little bit more. The narcissist gaslighted you, they love-bombed you, they mirrored you, then they devalued you, they discarded you, and repeat. They conned you, they controlled you, perhaps they manipulated you in some way. And as I say, my sort of idea was to go and find somewhere to camp, even though every single piece of furniture, bar 3 electrical items, belonged to me. I was prepared to leave everything behind because I had had enough. And you will get to the point where you've had enough as well, and you will want to leave. The best thing you can do in that case is start making plans. But when somebody asks you this question, why didn't you leave? They're not judging you. I don't believe they're judging you. What I believe is that they have disbelief in what you went through because they never saw anything wrong. You always put on this brave face. You were always present. You were always holding hands with your partner when they saw you, because don't forget, the narcissistic person will behave when there is somebody around them that they don't want to see their nasty behavior. And it's quite, it's quite terrifying when you think about it, that there are two sides to this person. There's the side that you know, and there's the side that everybody else knows, because this narcissistic person will do everything for everybody else. They will absolutely give all of their time. They will be polite as pie, and they will look like a perfect partner, a perfect person. So when the relationship ends due to physical or sexual abuse, or even verbal abuse, they don't understand because they didn't see it. And you may well not want to tell people because you know that they're not going to believe you, because they didn't see the bruises. They didn't hear the words that were said to you. They weren't cheated on. They weren't diminished. But you have been by this person. So know that they are not judging you. They just don't understand the situation because they've never experienced it. So you may well be triggered when you're asked this question and you want to explain it, but you may become angry, upset, perfectly normal reactions. Perhaps tell that person, look, it's not a good question for them to ask. Could you get back to them on that? You feel it's a very difficult subject for you to discuss. Perhaps try and explain later. But right now, you need a friend, a shoulder. You need somebody who's going to hold space for you. In other words, they are not going to judge you. They're going to be there for you so that you can talk to them. Now, I really struggled with this because I had lost all of my friends through the relationship. But I found a psychologist who has helped me immensely and who held space for me. So it may well be that you have to see a psychologist or a support group, or join a support group, somebody who you can talk to about this and who will understand what you've gone through. All you need is for that person to tell you it's going to be all right. You're going to heal. So if you find yourself asking somebody, why didn't you leave? Bite your tongue and understand that they have their reasons and perhaps they're not ready to explain it to you yet. But know that that person is not judging you. They just don't understand and haven't experienced the narcissistic relationship. And it's something that you may want to educate them about, as I did. I sent this person videos and documentation and, you know, things that I found that would try to explain my situation that I'd gone through a little bit better. So I hope this has helped you. Please click the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. I also put a poll up a couple of days ago as to moving forwards with the channel. There are some changes I'd like to make, but I need some advice from you as what you'd like to see a little bit more of in the future. So if you can please go and have a look at that poll, or pop something in the comments below as to how you would like to see this channel grow. Blessed be.